This is a significant development, coming just a day after the Joint Investigation Team released its latest findings in the Netherlands. This information is coming from a network of citizen journalists. Bellingcat, which leads this group, has been working on the investigation for almost 4 years since that crash happened, claiming 298 lives. They've come up today with a name, saying that Oleg Ivanikov is the senior Russian intelligence officer who was in the region at the time, and they firmly believe that that missile launch could not have taken place without him being aware of it. They've used wiretaps on phone calls, information available online, even being able to find his home address and phone number, and speaking to his wife as recently as the last 24 hours to put this information together. They have passed it on to the Joint Investigation Team a couple of months ago. The two, while they are not connected in any way, are certainly in contact, and Bellingcat wants to make sure that the information it finds is not lost or taken down once it goes public with it. Of course, the Joint Investigation Team is trying to get to a point where there can be a criminal investigation, so they will take this information and see whether they can corroborate it as well. There were some family members of victims at this Bellingcat press conference today, and they say they feel like a major step was taken with the Joint Investigation Team's announcements, and now another step taken with this latest information, actually putting a name to a man they believe is one of the key suspects.
And the Foreign Minister, Julie Bishop, says she holds Russia legally responsible for the downing of Malaysia flight MH17. Ms Bishop says the families of victims want to see Russia held to account and should receive compensation.
Yes, these findings of the Joint Investigation Team, including Australia, are very important in that for the first time we are able to state that Russia must take responsibility for its role in the downing of MH17 that killed 298 people. We have advised Russia that we hold the Russian Federation responsible for its role, and we have requested that they commence negotiations. We'll be seeking an acknowledgement from Russia that they accept responsibility for their part in the role of the downing of the plane, and we will also be seeking reparations on behalf of the victims for their families. We have already begun a prosecution proceeding in the Netherlands. The Dutch national prosecution will be underway, and what we're doing now is complementary to those proceedings. It's a question of holding the Russian Federation accountable. It's called state responsibility under international law. And we have requested Russia to commence negotiations to open a dialogue so that we can get an acknowledgement from Russia over its role in the downing of MH17 and also seek compensation on behalf of the families. So these processes will progress in a complementary fashion, the Dutch prosecution and the negotiations. Russia is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, and there was a unanimous resolution on the 21st of July 2014 that all states would fully cooperate to establish accountability. So we call on Russia as a permanent member of the Security Council to abide by its own resolution to fully cooperate to establish accountability. We also believe that there will be significant pressure on Russia to acknowledge its undoubted role in the downing of MH17, but we will continue to consider all options with our partners and the international community to ensure that Russia's conduct is called out as being utterly unacceptable. We are seeking to enter negotiations with Russia. These will obviously be confidential negotiations, but what we are seeking is justice for the victims and their families. 38 Australians, 298 in total, were killed when MH17 was brought down, and it's now been established that the Buk missile that was deployed to bring down this passenger jet belonged to the Russian army.